The following intro is a joke and is not to be taken seriously or viewed as an accurate depiction of Slendermander's character.
Not respecting staff members' consent, letting minors make inappropriate jokes, and letting full-blown groomers onto the staff team. These are the Freedom War Files. About a week ago, I made and released a video talking about the state of the Freedom War staff team and how its integrity is questionable at best. Afterwards, I was made aware of a disturbing amount of evidence that made what I said in the video just so much worse. Turns out, a decent amount of the staff have had enough NSFW warnings to get permabanned, yet all of their warnings seemingly disappear. Kishimo, who has now disappeared from the community, Greenie, a man attending university who is either 18 or 19, Myomicorn, I think I'm pronouncing that right, I don't really know, a chaser of femboys and an avid groomer in their free time. There's possibly even worse figures in the staff team. The reason for being able to stay? All thanks to Fox, who's the current head of staff, along with his staff overseer, Wolf, need to be removed from the community in order for it to mature. Both of these staff members have displayed gross levels of incompetence. They let multiple people with an array of NSFW warnings remain in the staff team. This includes Kishimo, who discovered to have 3 NSFW warnings, 2 writtens, 1 verbal. Previous written was hidden from us and was sneakily eliminated by Golden after Ink, a retired member of staff who already had problems talking to minors without realizing their age, and making some real freaky advancements, if you could call them that, despite knowing and saying himself that he's in a server full of minors. He also seems to have a real fascination with this 14-year-old who goes by the username Shoko_Knight, a relationship none of his fellow staff members ever criticized the mod from the looks of it, despite Shoko saying her age multiple times in the server history. Anyways, Ink debated with Zombie over Kishimo's warning. It was a debate he lost and later admitted he wouldn't want kids to see the content Kishimo was warned for. Next up to criticize these two, Greenie, a moderator with 2 warnings for NSFW content and 1 warning for pedo comments. I'll just let you think about that for a moment. This individual was temporarily permabanned after being accused of being a groomer, only to be unbanned and reinstated into his position by Fox, an action that demonstrates Fox cannot be trusted. For one reason or another, he is choosing to side with an individual who has multiple NSFW warnings, a warning for pedophilic comments, and was accused of being a groomer with photo evidence, despite his own rules clearly stating 2 or more NSFW warnings is a permaban. He would later unban and remod Greenie. Wolf and Fox are the reason at least 100 kids a day in that server are likely seeing softcore porn, and that's at best, and actual drawn porn at worst. If either of them are listening to this, I would encourage you to both step down for the good of your community. Speaking of NSFW warnings, let's not forget the undefeated champion, Myomicorn. Myomicorn has had 4 or more NSFW warnings, and that's just the written ones that we know about. 3 of these have mysteriously gone missing despite staff members claiming they cannot delete NSFW warnings. Fox's actions clearly display he cannot be trusted to lead a Discord staff team, much less a Discord with minors in it. He's a danger to the community he leads and cannot be trusted, and by Wolf allowing Fox to lead the staff team in the direction that it is now, he's directly responsible for the Freedom War staff team's fall into the disgusting state that it is now. To right these wrongs, I believe staff reforms are needed, not just in policy and regulation, but also in members. In the rest of this video, I'm going to be dedicating it to the problems the Freedom War staff team faces and how to fix them. But for the first fix, I'm going to suggest something a few chronicling online figures could deem radical. A lot of these staff members, they have to go immediately. Fox, Zombie, and Wolf. They're either dangerously neglectful at best, or intentionally helping groomers at worst. I'm just going to be straightforward for a moment. How do you have a moderator with a warning that literally reads pedo comments? This is a massive lack of effort and an even bigger failure from both Fox and Wolf. Zombie can barely deny his part in this, however, considering that he's the head admin and one of the only people that's allowed to talk negatively about the other staff. Because I'm not making this up, other staff members are punished for calling out other staff members on pedophilic behavior. And even if Zombie somehow tries to deny that he's doing terrible at this job, the dude has literally argued with moderators over warning people who refuse to stop making 30 jokes towards them despite being asked to stop and saying they weren't comfortable with it. They pretty much have the Discord equivalent of workplace sexual harassment going on. And I'm amazed the community lets this slide, but I'm pretty sure it's because they don't know. And I think it's all because of censorship. You see this every day to some extent, especially if you somehow snuck past the firewall and are watching this from China. But in this Discord, there's censorship everywhere. Everything is handled privately in tickets nobody else can see, and the staff team refuses to share transcripts afterwards, and to even bring up the way they censor channels paints them in a bad image instantly. The staff team has on multiple occasions locked down entire channels and purged messages from them, which really screams innocent, doesn't it? And on the note of tickets earlier, do you really think it's smart to let people who don't even know what they're supposed to moderate handle tickets alone out of view of everyone else? I mean, most staff members are absolute raging egomaniacs anyways. Look, this segment was going to be rough no matter what. The way the staff team here handles anything usually paints them in a bad light. And while I'd like to blame them like I said in the previous segment, it's mostly because of the staff leaders. I can't even blame the staff team when we got a formal statement from one of their members saying this. To my knowledge, there's no formal list of expectations for staff, such as rules or punishments. Most staff members have to abide by previous staff announcements posted, or statements from the staff leaders such as Fox or Wolf. These statements are typically sent in conversation, rather than any actual channel or note card for staff members to rely on. It makes it extremely difficult to determine what should be moderated and with what. Because of this, staff team members tend to argue over specifics. To fix this, surprisingly easy. The most obvious way to instantly improve the staff team is to have more transparency. Let's be for real. Any accusations of pedophilia, grooming, or calling out staff for being horrid is instantly met with "do it in a ticket," and that ticket will likely end in you getting banned or the information you share in it never reaching the light of day. The Freedom War staff team can fix this by having more open tickets and making staff rules more clear. Transparency is a delicate thing, and I'll be the first to admit sometimes having too much of it is bad, but having your own staff team not know their own rules is insane. But there's one thing that is far worse than that: having your staff team know the rules and instead be silent and side with the groomer. That's right, on June 17th, 2024, multiple members of staff were spotted collaborating to keep silent on an event that took place. A 14-year-old T-Mod was discovered sending and receiving illicit messages with Greenie. Of course it's this dude, right? Anyways, what was the staff's response to this? Keep it all quiet. It'll be an outrage if anybody hears. Now, I can't exactly say what was going on in the DMs because I don't have the proper evidence, but what I can say is that Green was in some sort of relationship with a 14-year-old T-Mod. The T-Mod had sent a small screenshot of their DMs to their friends, and their friend felt obligated to report to Jinx, the deputy head admin. After Green was banned for his relationship with the 14-year-old, the T-Mod then went on to reveal everything. And while it's not exactly an SFW, it definitely skirts the line in some areas from what I've heard. After this, both parties are unbanned, although I don't see why the T-Mod was banned in the first place, but Green is reinstated as a mod for some reason, although being monitored. Now, I can't say for certain what they were doing in their DMs because of the staff censorship, but if they wanted me to handle this correctly, they shouldn't have kept quiet. Now I'm assuming they're all intentionally aiding groomers, especially after they let Greenie back in and made him into a mod, especially with the information that comes later. Anyways, with that said, I think I made it abundantly clear on why they need transparency, so let's move on to the next issue. The rules! Yeah, the rules in their entirety. I hate them. Delete all your rules if you can't bother enforcing them at all. You have several staff members that constantly violate these rules in every way possible, and other staff members that don't know what they should do to punish these people because their peers are doing the exact same thing they're supposed to be looking out against. Why do you even allow people to get away with NSFW content with just a warning and a mute? You moderate a server you know has kids in it. I even have former staff statements from the same dude who keeps making sexual advancements on everyone on the server that acknowledge such. And sure, at the very least, everyone's over 13. If you're enforcing that rule, spoiler, they aren't, and they can't. It's a Roblox anime game. You have people under 13 on the server that just don't speak. So at least try to not post images of softcore porn every 3 days and make a joke out of it. Yeah, maybe? No? Okay, I doubt it. Let's just move on then to the next segment. Imagine me for a second, alright? Are you imagining? You better be. You were a parent, okay? And your 14-year-old was online in their room all day on their computer talking to people who say jokes like this to them. For reference, in this image, Myomicorn, a moderator in their early 20s, is implying they'd like to have a threesome with a 14-year-old and an individual of unknown age. I have to say early 20s because this staff member has not fully disclosed their age, and nor is it verified. For all we know, this user violates their own rules and is under 13, but God knows the staff leaders wouldn't check that. The way this person jokes about their age and keeps it a secret also leads me to believe that they're a little bit too old for this Discord. Next joke, if you can even call it that, this one of Greenie, the one we talked about earlier, implying they and Choco should fix low European birth rates. I believe you understand what that's supposed to mean. Greenie was not warned for this, however, despite this joke being witnessed by an admin called Flavius. Keep in mind this Greenie person is attending university and should not ever be talking to a 14-year-old like this. The Shoko individual in question here stated that they are 14 repeatedly, almost more than a few dozen times by now. Despite this, we have received evidence that they are in a private server with people like Ink and Nay, and to top this all off, we have proof that places them in either the same server or in DMs with Greenie. And while I cannot personally contribute any evidence to what goes on in the server or in these DMs, we do have proof of sexually charged comments being made towards the 14-year-old Shoko within the server. It also really doesn't help that Ink is notorious for being a little bit too close with Shoko, to the point he often made jokes about the two being made out in a sexual manner, even more polluting the disgusting waters that is the Freedom War Discord server. And I know this video is getting a little bit long, so let me have one more segment and then we'll wrap it up. Myomicorn. We talked about them earlier making disgusting jokes with the 14-year-old. They're an individual within the Freedom War staff team that has a long history of sexually chasing after femboys and actually explaining what femboys are to a chat full of children in the Discord. They've had their pronouns range from Walmart garbage bag to a wrist-cutting femboy. Surely, that's safe for a Discord with kids in it, right? Myomicorn also has made over 28 comments about femboy spanking, ranging all the way back from a year ago to present day, some with a drooling emoji inside of which only goes to worsen the sexual implications of what they're saying. Myomicorn's real age isn't known, but is thought to be in the 19 to 21 range. They've mentioned femboys a total of 321 times in the Discord server, identifying themselves as one repeatedly. This person is the equivalent of a chaser, but for femboys. They think of femboys far more as a sexual term than a gender identity. It's pretty easy to see that this person is a groomer, and it's amazing they haven't been out for it yet. If someone is too young to properly know what a femboy is, and you have to explain it to them and then mention femboy spankings inside of your general chat in front of them, you need to go. They're a danger to the minors around them and have had 4 warrants that we know for NSFW content that haven't received a punishment. But this might be because mysteriously 3 of those warrants have vanished despite admins insisting that they cannot remove NSFW warrants. The staff team is in on this, I'm telling you. Wolf, Fox, and Zombie all need to desperately go, along with Myomicorn and Greenie. With a long history of staff incompetence and proof that Wolf can't ever handle a situation right, not to mention the deputy head admin that gets drunk and acts like a 12-year-old who had a sip of a martini and spam posts about his indulgence. Maybe that's because this dude is 15 and decided to show off his underage drinking to be the ultimate Sigma Wolf. I honestly don't know why any of the staff leaders are around at this point, and the Wolfpack tag just lets you know who can't be trusted around kids. I've said just about everything I can about the state of the Freedom War staff team, and I really do hope that Dank comes back and does something about this because it's honestly terrible what's going on inside the server. But I think he's already given up on the community. Until next time though, I've linked a doc to the list of solutions I've prepared if Dank does decide to acknowledge this video and wants to make a change. You can reach me at Cast Artemis on Discord if you have any more information to share. This has been the Freedom War Files.
Scorpion would fall asleep before the script was fully finished, never getting his DoorDash order. Husky would later finish writing the script and pass out. Fuck you! Passing out from taking 250 milligrams of Benadryl and chugging 3 cups of coffee. He'd wake up to claim he saw the afterlife. Melodic Panda would end up getting stabbed after walking around for 15 minutes to get the DoorDash order he stole off the Scorpion. Javier hasn't been found to this day. Cass is still missing.